We start off this edition of Trains Around Kansas City with an ATSF yellow bonnet moving some auto rack cars in Argentine Yard. I did not expect to see a tractor on K32, especially since there aren't any farms nearby, or even any empty fields. All three of these units in this picture are remote control equipped SD40-2s. The war bonnet in this lash-up is number 625, a C44-9W. Units in the 600 series were originally painted in the ATSF war bonnet, while those in the 700 series were in the war bonnet but were lettered for BNSF. I find it neat that a later cab SD60M is working with an earlier cab SD60M. In the left of this picture you can see an ex-Burlington Northern caboose. BNSF was also doing some construction renovation work of the locomotive maintenance and inspection terminal. These extra storage tracks are now completed. So apparently they're like redoing stuff here at Argentine because there's scaffolding on the building right here. But whilst the renovation work is going on, they're still maintaining and parking locomotives here. And here is ex-ATSF unit number GN6484, an SD45-2. It was built in 1973 as number 5704. There isn't too much in Argentine Yard, but I still drive by to see it. Unit 9104 is an SD70AH and was apparently built as recent as 2019. Number 6539 is an AC44CW built in 2000. Both of these units were involved in a derailment on the Santa Fe Junction Bridge. And there are also these plain gray covered hopper cars, some of which had graffiti on them. At this end of the yard, it's pretty empty compared to what used to be. And if you look closely over by the sheds, I think these two auto racks might have been involved in the derailment too. Also around the Argentine Yard area, I saw this tow truck carrying a semi-truck and its trailer. As we head to the yards on the other side of town, here are some empty UP coal train. There's this lone SW1500 in this part of the Kansas Southern Notch Yard. I don't see much of Kansas Southern's company vehicles. This one's just the KCS logo stamped on. Seems like this Canadian Pacific Gevo recently got a new cab. Look how clean it is. I'd really like to know what happened to this container. Did it get dropped weird? On the sides of one of these bathtub hoppers, I noticed one of those color code things from like the 70s or 80s. It's from the earliest railroad equipment tracking computer things. At Mid-America Car Inc., there's still this X-Soo line locomotive that's not been repainted in CIT blue. Also on this side of their shed was one of their shop switchers. On the other end of this boxcar and trio of well cars is another SD40-2 for a BNSF, number 1898. It's an ex-Santa Fe unit built in 1980. TWYX number 6499 is an ex-Cargill GP7 that was originally built in 1952 for the Chicago and Northwestern Railway. I've seen this unit in Argentine Yard once before. There are also a couple of other SD40-2s in here getting their cabs fixed. Number 1997 was built as number 7052 for the Burlington Northern in 1978. I have not seen any pictures of this locomotive repainted into H3 yet. Number 1599 is an ex-Santa Fe SD40-2. Just as I was leaving the Kansas Southern Yard, I saw these two SD70 Max bring in a mixed freight train. Now we're at Union Pacific's Neff Yard, where there are quite a few ex-Chicago Northwestern covered hoppers, as well as plenty of locomotives still stored here. Most of them are like about 20 to 30 years old. You got SD60Ms, SD70Ms, Dash 8s, Dash 9s, and AC44s, as well as plenty of auto racks from different railroads. It would be interesting to know how many locomotives Union Pacific has stored but still owns. And the last train that I saw on this yard tour was this mixed freight train on the Fort Scott sub heading home. That does it for this edition of Trains Around Kansas City. Thank you for watching.